There it goes. Hey, Cookbook Love family. I am Declan DeWitt Hall, and this is my beloved wife, Suzanne.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about the Cookbook of the Week.
Yay!
What do you got for us?
Here's the deal. It's a very special day because we have not one, but two cookbooks of the week.
Yay!
And here, oops, that one's upside down.
Oh.
Wait. No, it's just backwards. We're used to backwards. Look at this. So, these are different cookbooks. Apologies. They have no respect for going live. They just think they should always be on guard.
No live video etiquette.
They don't.
They're terriers.
Them.
What can you say?
They're in charge of everything. So anyway, as I was saying, we have 2 for 1 day because we have 2 versions of this cookbook. And it is the Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook. And there were a bunch of different versions. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you found?
I found out that the original Better Homes and Garden cookbook came out in 1930. They had a full-page ad talking about how this was going to be a cookbook like none other, like nobody had ever seen before. So the last I saw was that in 2018 they came out with their 17th edition.
It's amazing.
So there could be more. I haven't looked over the last 3 years, but you read almost 80 years later, and they've sold. I read over 34 million copies.
That's a lot.
I think their boasting came true.
I think they did. It was cookbooks like no other.
Right.
So, as I said, we've got 2 of them here. We might have more in our collection, but right here we have 2. This one, it was first released in 1953, but there was a second edition. I think it said in 1962. And unfortunately, the copyright page is missing from it, so I'm not sure which one it is.
That one looks well used.
Yeah, they're both, that one is kind of hammered. This one is from 1968. And there were a few interesting things about...
Look at that kitchen.
About the differences. Yeah. Well, let's show you this kitchen because it is spectacular. It's a little bit shiny, and obviously we'll be sharing pictures from these 2 cookbooks, kind of from both of them, throughout this week. But those kitchen, I kind of really want this kitchen, not it's pretty spectacular. The interesting thing is with this, though, it's the same cookbook. Sort of. Mm-hmm. It's also different because in this 1953 edition, meal planning and nutrition is the first chapter, and there's these index tabs here, right on both of them. There's all these index tabs. So meal planning and nutrition in the 1953 edition is chapter 1, and it's like chapter 10 in the 1968 edition. So
maybe it wasn't as important.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but they decided to switch things around, and there's a special helps that came after meal planning. There's all kinds of cool things like what to pack in lunch boxes. These cookbooks are great because there's quite a few pictures. The
wow.
Last week's cookbook of the week didn't have many pictures. It had some line art, and that was it. So this is going to be more pictures. Here's a contrasting kitchen from the 1953 version, which is also pretty darn cool.
How can you not love a Better Homes and Garden cookbook?
It's pretty great. So let me turn. I captured a couple things I wanted to show you here. Oh, this girl who looked like a typical sort of 1950s housewife hair seemed to underscore the 50s version, or the 50s idea. Let's see. Oh, and then there's some really cute illustrations of, 1950s style. It's a little hard to do this backwards, so I apologize, but I will be taking pictures of them for you. But aren't those great? Those little illustrations. And I think there's one more thing I wanted to show you.
It's got a little bit of everything.
It does. So there's some fancy cookies. Oh, and then I was just going to show you, this person was obviously a cookie baker, because this section, look how beat up these pages are. Looks like some stuff has been spilled on there.
Little wine.
Some wine. The pages are starting to come out from the three ring binding. So obviously they were a cookie baker. So that's the 1953 book, and then there were a couple things I wanted to show you from the 1968. One was this creation, which appears to be some good old-fashioned Spam casserole. It's called Meat Macaroni Supper. And I don't think that they were featuring the Spam in the 1950s version, but it does show up in 1960.